guys, Daddy Just the Alchemist here, and we're going to go ahead and do a reading on Mercury retrograde. So we're going to look at the messages that we were supposed to get from the retrograde. Since it just ended, I figured it would be a good idea to kind of look back and see what were some of the lessons that we were supposed to learn. I'm going to go ahead and go in order from Aries to Pisces. So we're going to start with Aries. Alright, Spirit, what are the messages and or the lesson that we were supposed to take from Mercury retrograde for Aries? And it looks like we've got the High Priestess reverse. It seems like Aries, it seems like there was something hidden. Maybe I'm getting that there must have been something hidden during this retrograde that you were supposed to discover. Maybe something might have come to light. It could have been, there was something that you kind of had a feeling about, but you weren't really listening to your intuition. There was something hidden from you, and you might have felt like you knew what this was, but for some reason, probably because of the retrograde, you felt like your intuition was blocked, so that connection between you and your highest self wasn't really clear, and so you were kind of doubting yourself about the secret. But you're right. That's all you need to know about this situation. The thing that you have been contemplating, that you feel uncertain of, like this gut feeling that you've been having, but like don't know if you should trust yourself, because you were definitely right about that. Let me go ahead and get a card to clarify this. Oh, that's too many. We're gonna do that again. A card to clarify for Aries. What is the hidden message that they were doubting themselves about? Ooh. Come on. Hidden message that Aries was doubting themselves about during this retrograde. Let's see. It's Page of Cups. Upright. So you might have been dealing with a water sign and an earth sign. This is kind of a confirmation that you were indeed correct about this situation. It seems like there was some sort of opportunity that might have presented itself, or maybe an opportunity that you weren't sure about whether or not it was going to happen. There was maybe some sort of promotion I'm getting that maybe it was coming from maybe your boss or something, someone above you was a water and earth sign. It could have been that you weren't sure whether or not you were getting this promotion or raise. I'm here to tell you that yes, you are indeed going to get this. It was meant to be kind of like a surprise. They were kind of watching to see how you were doing, to see how you performed. So that feeling that you were getting about like, oh, is this going to happen or not? Yes, it is going to happen. I feel like the retrograde kind of like stood in the way of you knowing for certain whether or not it was going to happen. Maybe you felt like you were unsure, but you're good, dude. You're getting this fucking raise. You're getting this promotion. So, yeah. Congratulations, Aries. Alright, moving on to Lord. It's after Aries, Taurus. Moving on to Taurus. Alright, what do we have for Taurus here? What is the message that Taurus needed to receive through this retrograde and or lesson that Taurus needed to learn? Let's see, Taurus, channeling Taurus energy. Taurus energy. Cards are not pulling for Taurus. What is going on, Taurus? What is the message Taurus was meant to receive through this retrograde lesson? Ooh, alright, there we go. Wow, alright, we've got 4 cards here. So, ooh, it seems like, okay, this could possibly be for different situations for many Tauruses out there, and or this could all be your situation. We've got the Four of Swords upright. We've got the Three of Swords upright. We've got the Two of Swords upright. We've got the Page of Swords. Oh my god. Lots of swords here. So, Taurus, it seems like you've been struggling with some mental things. It's definitely, a lot of this stuff was definitely mental. So, retrograde was definitely kind of like messing with your head a little bit. Let's see. So, it looks like, it looks like you kind of went through a period of definitely dealing with a Libra and or an air sign. Yeah, so it looks like you were dealing with an air sign or maybe a Libra specifically. Definitely air though. And it looks like maybe you were kind of struggling to relax. You were having trouble letting yourself, or no, actually, not that you were having trouble relaxing, but more so you were pushed into a period of having to rest or having to kind of step back from a situation. It seems like there was some sort of like heartbreak or separation, and it doesn't have to involve a partner. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could be a separation from, a family member, friend. Something that happened during this retrograde is there was some sort of separation here, and it might have really impacted you. You were definitely going through kind of like a heartbreak. It was very disheartening for you, and you were kind of like contemplating whether you should go towards this person that you separated from, or if you are supposed to take a step back and kind of let things happen the way they were. I'm here to tell you that this is definitely something that you're probably supposed to just let happen. Like, just allow yourself to take that step back. Allow yourself to really think about this relationship. And, if it is something that really serves you, this might have been kind of hard to deal with. Because, you might have been really close with this person. But it seems like, you know, it seems like this wasn't exactly something that was too great for you. Maybe something that almost kind of like put you in the way, or was like this relationship kind of stood in the way of some things that you might have wanted to pursue. This might have made you want to retreat a little bit, like kind of be alone. The message that I'm getting from this is that you're meant to take a step back from this relationship. The reason that you guys separated, like, yeah, it's very disheartening, but you're supposed to kind of like take a step back and let yourself just think about everything, think about the relationship in itself, let yourself kind of rest, and allow yourself the space to kind of like look towards the future regardless of what happened with this relationship. It seems like this energy was kind of like really making you feel restless, and you weren't sure what to do, but I feel like you do know what you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to just let this happen and just let it go, honestly. And like, whether or not this person comes back into your life, who's to say? They could or they couldn't, but either way, you're going to be okay without them. And allowing yourself the space to kind of heal from this and to just accept this is going to help you kind of have like new ideas. It's going to present new opportunities to you if you just let this go. Sorry, guys. Confirmation. Yeah. So letting this go and releasing all the mental energy that you are placing on the separation is ultimately going to benefit you, because you are going to be presented with new opportunities, new ideas. There's going to be goals and such that you are going to have more mental energy to reach. Maybe this person was really just standing in the way. Maybe they weren't the nicest person. Maybe it wasn't a Libra. It very well could be. Could just be an air sign in general. Could be an earth sign in general. But yeah, this person definitely maybe they weren't the best for you. Maybe they kind of like crushed your dreams a little bit from time to time, or maybe even if it wasn't obvious, they might have like subtly put you down. But I'm here to tell you that you're going to be fine without this person. Whether or not they come back, who knows? But as of right now, you're meant to just accept it and move forward, because there's lots of opportunities that are coming for you. And that is a message for Taurus. Thank you, Mercury, for this lesson. All right, let's see. After Taurus, moving on to Gemini, I believe. Moving on to Gemini. Let's see, Gemini, what is the message that Mercury retrograde has for Gemini? What is the lesson that Gemini was meant to learn? Fuck. That is crazy. 3 of Swords upright again. So it seems like Gemini, you might have also gone through some sort of heartbreak over this past retrograde. Maybe it wasn't a heartbreak. Maybe it was some sort of like grief, just general pain and suffering, some sort of loss. Maybe you were in a period of depression during this time. This is, let's see, it could also mean that maybe there was some sort of idea that started to come about during this time, and these were like kind of like the beginning stages of the idea. And so it might be the start of the end, if that makes sense. So could have been a separation, heartbreak, some sort of pain, depression. I feel like, let's see, let me get a card to clarify the 3 of Swords for Gemini. Mercury retrograde was the lesson. We've got the Ace of Cups upright. Okay, yeah, so it looks like this had to do with maybe a water and air sign. Could be any sign, but I'm getting water or air. And it looks like this did have to do with a lover. It could have been just like a relationship, but I'm honestly just getting like a lover. Maybe. Oh, fuck. Okay, so maybe some of you were looking forward to some sort of engagement, or like, you know, taking a step forward in your relationship. And it looks like that did not go the way that you wanted it to. Whether you guys were looking forward to like getting married, maybe having a baby. Some of you might have had some sort of loss, like a miscarriage. I'm so sorry if that's what happened. Maybe you were looking forward to a marriage or proposal of some sort, and it just didn't happen, which caused, you know, this pain. Wow, yeah. I'm sorry, Gemini, that must have been very tough for you in your situation. But yeah, it looks like this was, again, the start of the end, or like this ending is here to propel you forward in some way. Let me get one more card Yeah, I'm feeling like this ending was meant to happen to propel you forward. We've got, oof, the Four of Pentacles in reverse. This person might have been very greedy and possessive. And so it feels like losing this person or losing this thing was kind of like a blessing in disguise. And I hate to say that for people who are going through some serious grief. I'm so sorry, you know, it's never easy losing someone that you love. But I genuinely feel like everything happens for a reason. And this person was ultimately just going to get in the way of you and your ambitions. You know, I'm getting you're maybe very creative, maybe intuitive, and I feel like this person definitely put a lot of doubt in you. And I feel like they weren't very nice, you know? And maybe very like power hungry, just very authoritarian kind of person over you. And or if it's like the case of a loss, like this might have been something that might have kind of put a lot of obstacles in your way had this moved forward to the next level. So again, it's a blessing in disguise. Could be dealing with earth, water, air, Libra, Capricorn. Yeah. The lesson that you're meant to learn is this is actually a blessing in disguise. This loss is the end of a cycle. It is meant to propel you forward into a new beginning. And that is the message that I have for Gemini. We have Five of Cups upright actually at the bottom of the deck as I went to put these cards back. So yeah, like you're very upset about this loss. Like you're looking at these cups spilled over and you're like, fuck, like I can't believe this happened. I'm so upset. But because of the fact that you're focused on this loss, you don't see the two cups that are filled behind you upright. You don't see the blessings because you're focused on the loss, but I promise you they're coming. They're there. All right. Moving on from Gemini to comes after Gemini? Cancer. We're moving on to Cancer. All right. What is the Mercury retrograde lesson for Cancer? Let's fucking go. Cancer. Let's see. Oop. We've got the King of Cups. Okay, Cancer. All right. So it looks like maybe you might have met someone during this retrograde. Could have been a fire or water sign. Definitely someone who's like emotionally stable. A leader, someone who's very empathetic. Let's see. Let's clarify this King of Cups for Cancer. Of that, the lesson or the message from Mercury retrograde. Let's see. For Cancer. Ooh, alright. We've got the Knight of Cups upright here. Yeah, so it does look like, you know, you might have met someone. Could be fire, air, water. Yeah. I'm getting maybe Aquarius, Pisces, Libra, Scorpio. Yeah, it seems like you might have met someone during this retrograde. They seem very stable. They seem very empathetic. I'm getting kind of like a vibe of like being smitten with this person, you know? Like you might have really like started to fall for this person. You're like, wow, like you're really seeing them with like glittering eyes. What is the outcome of this? Let's see. Oof. Oh gosh. All right. Gemini. Or fuck, not Gemini, sorry. Cancer. This person that you met, I would say be careful. They seem on it looks like on the outside they're very balanced, very emotionally stable. They're very charming and romantic, you know, you might even find them very attractive. You might have really like fallen for this person and their charm. But I just pulled the Page of Swords reverse and the Justice, and the Page of Swords is definitely, especially reversed, someone who's very deceptive and manipulative. So this person might have like the gift of gab. They might romance you and be very charming. However, it seems like they could be a narcissist. And if they're not a narcissist, they're very much just out for themselves. So I would definitely be careful about that. They seem justice in reverse. It seems like they might be dishonest. Um, Definitely getting a lot of earth and air here. I would say air more than anything. Maybe some water. You could be the water sign that's pulling up in this. Could be a Libra, but definitely lots of air. Lots of air here. But yeah, this person. This person's just not honest. I would say definitely be careful. That might be one of the things that, like the message that retrograde was trying to send you, is because of the fact that, you know, Mercury was in retrograde. It kind of might have put like this veil over your eyes where you couldn't really see the manipulation or like the love bombing that you were getting from this person. Like it seemed very genuine, but this person's actually very manipulative, very dishonest. They lack accountability. They're not very fair. So definitely be careful. And that's the lesson that you're meant to learn. It's just kind of like definitely watch out for this person. Take it with a grain of salt. Not all that glitters is gold. And yeah, that was it for Cancer. Yep, that was it for Cancer. All right, let's see. And now we're moving on to Leo. What's up, Leo? I'm also Leo, guys. So, what was the Mercury retro? Okay. Didn't even let me finish asking, but the message for Leos from the retrograde and or lesson, we've got the King of Swords upright. Ooh, okay, yeah, so you might have been you've been in a place where you were very much in your head, not necessarily in a bad way, but more so very like goal oriented. You know, this might have been a time where you were kind of getting more clear on things. You were getting kind of like more disciplined. Like this might have been a period where you just started really thinking about your past and where you are. And so, you know, there might have been a lot more clarity during this time for you. Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm getting here for sure. Could have been also, possibly could have been dealing with a Taurus or Gemini. This doesn't have to necessarily involve some other people. I am getting that you might, maybe this clarity does pertain to someone else, possibly an air earth sign, maybe Taurus or Gemini. Could be any other fire or earth sign, though. It doesn't necessarily have to be either of those. But this might have been clarity about this other person. So, you know, maybe in the past you were a little like confused or like not really certain about this person. But during this retrograde, there was some sort of clarity that you got. We've got 3 cards that pulled here. This card pulled sideways, so it's challenge. We've got the Devil in reverse, and we've got the Ace of Wands upright. Nice, okay, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, it looks like this clarity kind of came from maybe you were breaking some old habits that didn't serve you anymore. Um, maybe like a sense of like detachment from a situation that brought you clarity. Kind of like feeling like you were more in control of your emotional state during this time. Definitely getting a feeling of like releasing some things that you know might have been attached to you for a while. Definitely, it seems like maybe feeling some more harmony in the situation. There could have been a Capricorn involved in this situation that maybe um, isn't involved anymore. This person could have been released. Yeah, it seems like there's kind of like a sense of freedom from this clarity that you're getting, and it's very inspiring. You went from being in a place where you lacked will, maybe you were kind of stuck, but this clarity that you're getting from releasing all of these beliefs and releasing these old habits, kind of detaching from these old patterns and kind of like having more emotional control. It's bringing you to a place where there's a lot of opportunity in your future. You're feeling very creative, you're feeling very passionate, very ambitious. Again, you're getting very clear on what you want. You're feeling powerful. You're feeling like this is a new beginning for you after you've released these things. And it's really just, this might have been, this Mercury retrograde definitely forced you to release these things in order for you to grow. And that's what you were meant to do during this retrograde. That was a lesson, is to release these old patterns to bring you clarity as to where you want to be, where you want to go. And it was definitely a great opportunity for you to grow through this. We've got the Seven of Pentacles in the challenge position, which means that it might have been kind of hard. This might have been these patterns. They might try to creep their way back into your life, you know? Like, this is something that you're actively fighting with. It's this feeling of like having control and losing it, this feeling of, you know, feeling you outgrew these patterns or these limiting beliefs, but you feel them creep in from time to time, and that's something to be aware of. Be aware of the fact that you do indeed have the power to grow past this. Anytime we're going through periods of growth, it's very easy to stay comfortable. You're naturally, our bodies want to stay comfortable, but allowing yourself to be in that discomfort is going to be what allows you to grow. Definitely don't let yourself get stuck in these patterns or like feeling like you don't see where you're going. Like, keep a clear vision as to the future you want and where you want to go. And don't let these beliefs stand in the way of where you believe that you can go. Because if you continue to work hard, if you continue to fight these old patterns, and just, you can recognize them coming up, you can recognize when they're trying to represent themselves, and remind yourself that you're not that person anymore. Remind yourself that you are here to grow past this. That is an old version of you, and you're shifting into a new version of yourself. Allow yourself to shift into this new version. Allow yourself to let go of the person that you no longer are or want to be. And remind yourself that it is very human for these aspects to try to come back up. It's almost testing you. It's testing your character to see how much you've grown. And just remind yourself that you have grown and you're going to continue to grow, and that this isn't you anymore. And your future is much brighter. Yeah, that's the message I have for Leo. All right, guys, looks good for you. All right. Let's see, Virgo. Let's see the message that we have for Virgo from the MERCURY. Wow, what is English? The Mercury retrograde. By the way, English is not my first language, guys. So I do stumble on my words sometimes. I'm Colombian, so Spanish was my first language. But yeah, so if I trip up on my words, it's fine. It's just residual retrograde energy. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, so let's see the Mercury retrograde message for Virgo. Let's see what we got. Ooh, Ten of Swords is in the challenge position, and then we've got Page of Wands upright. So it looks like gosh, it looks like there was definitely something that you might have been looking forward to, but for some reason, there might have been some endings that happened, like ultimate completion. You might have been dealing with an air sign, fire, or earth. Could have been Gemini. Yeah, it looks like, gosh, it looks like there was something that you were looking forward to. Maybe there was some sort of like idea or something that you were exploring, or something that was bringing you a lot of like excitement and like freedom. But sorry, guys. Anyways, yeah, it looks like there was definitely a challenge here where something must have ended for you, and you might have thought that this ending was going to get in the way of this thing that you were looking forward to. So this could also be backwards. So either there's something that happened that you felt kind of put a pause on what you were looking forward to on this new idea, or there was an ending that happened that brought about this inspiration and this new idea. And so actually, yeah, that's more of what I'm getting, is that this ending is what caused the idea. It's what caused kind of like this potential where you're like, wow, this was actually a blessing. I actually needed this to happen in order for me to be able to reach my potential, for me to discover these new things. We're going to go ahead and pull another card. Yeah, this might have been some sort of a secret that might have been released or something. Something that came to light that made you realize whatever you were dealing with had to end in order for you to move forward. We're going to go ahead and pull another card to help clarify the situation, and we've got the Seven of Swords reversed. Yeah, so it looks like, which, by the way, prior to this, that whole thing about things like coming to light, there was a high priestess upside down on the bottom of the deck, and that's kind of where I got the whole like, okay, there must have been something, some sort of secret or something that was hidden that might have come to light. And then I pulled the Seven of Swords upside down, which is like coming clean, deception, self-deceit, secrets. So yeah, it seems like there was something that came to light that kind of made you realize, like, wow, this is not for me, you know? And either someone confessed something that you really didn't like, and or you found something out, but basically it kind of showed, like, it showed you that that was not your path. It showed you that that was something that definitely had to end. And now, after you've kind of discovered, like, this newfound information, after you've had this ending where you're like, wow, this really isn't going to work for me, now you're having all these new ideas, you're looking forward to the future, you're feeling more free, you're feeling very inspired, you're seeing the potential that you have after letting this thing go that was honestly kind of toxic. And it seems like it was something that definitely took a lot of mental energy, was kind of draining on you. Again, it could have been air sign, either Gemini or Aquarius, um, fire or earth. I'm getting more air than anything, but yeah, could have been either one. But yeah, the message that you're meant to get from this is that this was definitely it was a good move ending it. Like, that it is going to work for your highest good, ending this thing that you were in, because ultimately it's going to help you reach your potential. It's going to give you more freedom, more excitement. So yeah, things are looking up after this. That was for Virgo. Gosh, my nose is so stuffy. I feel like every time the seasons change, I start, like, getting really bad allergies, or, I get, like, a little stuffy. Does anyone else go through that? Especially, like, with the winter coming in? Okay, let's see, where are we? I just did Virgo, so next we're doing Libra. Alright, Libra. What is the Mercury retrograde message for Libra? What was the lesson that Libra was meant to learn through this retrograde? Let's see. Libra, channeling for Libra. That's a lot of cards. We're gonna put those back in there and just shuffle again. Message for Libra. What was Libra meant to learn through this retrograde? We've got the World upside down. That's not it. We need another card. Ooh, okay. We've got 3 more here in the order that they came out. We've got the World upside down. We've got Page of Swords upright. We've got the Chariot upside down, and we've got 6 of Pentacles upside down. Alright, yeah, so it looks like there was something delayed here. Maybe there was something during this retrograde that seemed like it was definitely taking a long time, and it definitely caused some sort of, like, restlessness. It was something that was very bothersome, because you were just waiting for this thing to happen, and for some reason it just felt like it kept getting pushed down the line, and that could have been very frustrating for you. Yeah, it kind of felt like, that was out of your control. You didn't really know what to do, because you were definitely counting on this thing to happen for you, but it felt like it just kept getting put off and more. But it also looks like this kind of allowed you to look at life in a different way, and kind of think, like, okay, well, if this doesn't happen for me, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Like, what you kind of took a step back from this, and you looked at, like, okay, what is the backup plan in case this doesn't happen? And it kind of allowed you to get more curious about other possibilities for you, in the case of this thing that you wanted not happening for you. And it seems like this definitely allowed you to, yeah, really think things true. This was a period in time where self-care is definitely something that needed to be prioritized, especially with all this mental energy being exhausted on this delay. Yeah, it seems like there was definitely an attachment to this want of yours, and it was very hard for you to feel like it was completely out of your control. And you know, you just eventually you came to the conclusion, and or you need to come to the conclusion that, you know, if it's meant to happen for you, it will happen for you. It might still be delayed, or it might be something that has already happened and has finally happened for you. But either way, in the case that it doesn't happen for you, you're meant to look at other opportunities. And in the case that it does, it definitely, let's see, we've got Six of Wands upside down. It's gonna feel very fulfilling, like you're gonna feel like kind of like harmony within yourself. But this thing that you want might also cause some issues. So it might feel good for this thing to happen for you. However, there is also the potential for this causing problems in your home or your community. It might cause some problems with other people. Maybe there's other people who don't want this to happen for you. Maybe they're hoping that this delay just takes this thing away from you altogether. It seems to be a very transitional period in this time. So it looks like there's two roads that this could go down. Either it doesn't happen for you and you have to find a new path that is still going, will probably be a good path. It could be. I mean, it could be fulfilling. If it, like, either if it doesn't happen for you, you're going to find something else. Like, you're going to find something to replace this want that you have. But if it does happen for you, it's going to be very fulfilling. You're going to feel really happy about it. You're going to be really glad about the fact that, like, finally this thing came into your life after you've been waiting for so long. But you receiving this thing might cause problems in your home, problems in your community. It might cause some issues with other people. There are some people in your energy who maybe don't want this for you. You might feel like you're lacking support in this thing that you're pursuing, that you're hoping happens for you. It seems very transitional. Yeah, and then we've got the Nine of Swords reversed on the bottom of the deck. So this might be something that you're actually scared of. This might be something where, like, you're aware that it might cause problems, and that's kind of your fear here, is that you getting this thing is going to cause issues. And so that might be something that you're very worried about. And it's kind of this turmoil where you're like, I know this is going to make me happy, but I also know that this might cause some issues. And so you're kind of in a place like, is it worth it? This might be something that you really have to think about. Let's get another card for maybe like the lesson about this, or the outcome of if this delay ends and you receive what you want. What is the outcome? What is the lesson that you're meant to learn from this transitionary period? We've got Five of Pentacles upright. This might make you feel lonely, probably because of, you know, the possible conflict. It might kind of mess with your mindset and, like, the excitement that you had about this thing. It might kind of, like, feel not so great anymore. This might be something that causes a lot of worry in you. It might be something that makes you very like insecure. There's a possibility of loss, whether it be financial loss in this situation or just loss in general, maybe just loss of direction. You might feel like you're in need. This seems to be the outcome of this transition. Yeah. Well, so be careful with that, Libra. See, I feel like that definitely kind of described what you might have been going through during the retrograde, but I feel like, what was the lesson here, you know? I feel like we still need another card about what you were meant to learn from this. What was Libra meant to learn from this transition? Let's see. Oof. Okay, so maybe it seems like maybe you're like you might be in like kind of like a toxic relationship, or like, and maybe it's not relationship, it could be like doesn't have to be like romantic, it could be like family, friends, your support group, the people that you consider your home. This conflict that's going on with them, it seems like it's kind of a toxic environment, and you're meant to recognize that. You're meant to recognize that these people, the conflict that is being caused by you getting this thing that you really wanted, they're not happy about this, because they kind of they didn't want this for you, you know. They kind of wanted this sort of like control. They might have been kind of like doing things behind your back, or maybe like wishing bad on you without you really knowing. Like they were hoping that this doesn't go well for you, because they didn't want this for you. They wanted you home. They wanted you more focused on them. They wanted to kind of like, maybe they told you that this wasn't a good idea and they wanted to be right, essentially. And yeah, it's kind of, I'm getting this message of like, pay attention to the intentions of these people or this person in your life that were wishing bad on you, that were wishing that this didn't work out for you. Maybe they were posing it as like, oh, maybe this isn't your path. And, you know, maybe they were kind of like putting doubts in your head about this path that you were on that has been delayed. I think the delays were caused by the retrograde, but I also feel like this might have caused like a lot of like negative thoughts about this whole situation. You might have felt kind of like stuck, like you don't know what to do. You also could possibly feel stuck with the circle or the person or people that have this idea of you. Like you might kind of feel like a sort of like entrapment, like you feel like you can't leave, like you don't know how to. And that's something that you might have to like really pay attention to. Like, are these people and or is this person good for you? Like, does this help you expand, or is this something that you feel is holding you back? Is this something that you feel is ultimately causing you more harm than growth or expansion or good? Alright, and that's what I have for Libra. That was definitely a longer read for Libra. I'm hoping this helped a little bit. It sounds like you were definitely going through some shit, Libra. Sorry. Alright, moving on. Now we're going to... La da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG. Just kidding. I don't know where that came from. Anyways. Scorpio. We're pulling for Scorpio now. What is the Mercury retrograde message for Scorpio? My best friend's a Scorpio. I love her. Dylan, if you're watching this, I love you, bitch. Alright, pulling for Scorpio, this card flew out, and we've got King of Wands upright. Alright, let's see. King of Wands upright. I feel like I should get another card for you, Scorpio, for this message and or lesson that you needed to learn from this retrograde. We've got King of Swords upright. Okay, okay. Looking pretty good. I feel like I got one more for you. Let's see. One more for Scorpio to complete this, because it... Okay, maybe two. Maybe two. And then we've got Page of Wands reversed and Five of Cups upright. Okay, so this seems like two separate situations, actually, because I pulled these two pretty quickly, and then these two came out together. So it looks like on one end of things during this retrograde, you're definitely a very like strong-willed person. Like you're a leader, you're a visionary, you're very like mature, very focused, right? And during this retrograde, you might have kind of been very like focused, very ambitious. You had kind of this sense of like clarity as to like what you needed to do during this retrograde. You were kind of like seeing the big picture of things, and so you were kind of putting like your brain power and your ambition together to kind of like propel you forward towards this thing that you wanted. On the other hand of things, though, there might have been many moments where you felt like you were lacking direction, or like you were maybe procrastinating. And so maybe this is like your shadow self that's like, yeah, actually, I'm getting that this is like a shadow part of you, Scorpio. So on one hand, you're very ambitious, you're a leader, like you're a visionary, you're very driven, you've got these goals, you know how to get there, and you know you have like the power to get there. On the other hand, though, the shadow part of you is very, very limited. Like you have these very limiting beliefs. You tend to like procrastinate these things that you know you need to do, and you know that they're going to get you where you want to be, but maybe you doubt yourself a lot, and sometimes you kind of like doubt the direction that you're taking. You're like, is this right for me? Am I supposed to be doing this? It seems like this shadow self is kind of like it makes you get really down on yourself. Actually, it seems like it really just makes you feel like shit. Why are you so mean to yourself? What the hell? You doubt yourself a lot. That's what I'm getting. This, I don't know if this is for a specific person or if this is like a general collective of Scorpios out there, but like you know that you have the power to reach this thing. You're very ambitious. You have this vision, but there's a part of you that like really doesn't even believe in yourself. Like you doubt yourself a lot. You almost feel like a failure. Like you feel like you're not worth this thing that you want. Why do you feel like that? Why? You're, because it's not true. Like I hope you know that these things that come up, like it's in your shadow self. They might be things that it might be conditioning. Honestly, it might be something. There might have been something that you went through that made you believe this about yourself. It might be some like unhealed wounds that tend to resurface sometimes and make you feel like, fuck, am I even gonna get there? Like, am I ever gonna reach the success that I'm looking towards? And I think that you're definitely very capable, and this is definitely your shadow. The message that I'm getting is that you need to be aware of the fact that this is a shadow. This is a negative part of you. This might be something that's going to continue to come up, but you have to fight through this. Remind yourself that they're just thoughts, they're not real, and that you are more than capable of reaching the things that you want. Um, yeah, we've got Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, it seems like yeah, you might very often feel like defeated. You might feel like you might feel defeated. It might also have to do with the relationship that you're in, actually. Either a current relationship or maybe a relationship that you've had in the past. Again, doesn't have to be like a lover. When I say relationships, it could mean, you know, like parents, your spouse, sisters, brothers, support circle, friends, family. But yeah, there could be some sort of toxicity in your energy, and or there was, that might have brought you to believe these things about yourself. They're not true. And the lesson for this retrograde is to be aware of the fact that these things are not real, and that you have the potential, you have the drive, you have the vision to get to where you want to be. I wanted to pull one more card because I felt like the message wasn't over for Scorpios, and I pulled the Moon in reverse, which is release of fear, repressed emotions, confusion, darkness, insecurities. Yeah, so these are just insecurities. The message is that you need to release these insecurities. You need to get rid of this confusion and this darkness that's inside of you. You need to pay attention to this and release it because it's not real. It's their perceived, there are perceived images that you have of yourself. They're entirely from trauma and conditioning. All right. And I think the message is over now. That was the message for Scorpios from Mercury retrograde. Let's see. What is next after Scorpio? I'm pretty sure it's Sagittarius. All right. Message for Sagittarius is out there. The Sags. Let's see. Whoa. Both of these cards popped up in the challenge position. Holy shit, guys. Alright, we've got the Six of Swords and the Three of Swords, both in challenge positions. So, shit. Yeah, okay. It seems like there was something that happened. You're lacking balance and harmony. I need another card. These are two challenge cards, but I need one more card for Sagittarius for the situation in Mercury retrograde and the lesson that you're meant to learn from this. One more card for Sagittarius, please. Oh, here we go. Ace of Cups reversed. Gosh, my nose is itchy. Emotional loss, blocked creativity, emptiness, intuition, repressed emotions. It looks like there was definitely some sort of loss here. It looks like maybe there was like, you felt like you lost a piece of your community or like a part of your support system. It looks like you're blocked in some way because of this loss. Like you feel very out of balance. Like you can't find harmony. This might have been your fault. I'm sorry, guys. Look, one thing you need to know about me, I'm always gonna be real. I'm not just gonna sit here and give you all the fucking flowers and candy, sugar, sweet, like, no. If the cards are saying some bad shit, I'm gonna tell you. Sorry. If you're fucking up, I'm sorry, I'm gonna tell you you're fucking up. But the cards are telling me that you're fucking up, or that you did fuck up. This separation, this heartbreak, this loss that you are going through is entirely your fault. Sorry. You probably know that already. So you probably really feel empty during this time. Maybe you're trying to like take better care of yourself and like listen to, like, be more attuned within yourself because of this loss. because of the fact that you're having trouble finding balance, you're having trouble finding harmony, you're having trouble healing, and you're also having trouble empathizing with the situation. You need to empathize with the situation. You have to take accountability for the fact that, hey, you kind of probably brought this on yourself. Sorry. But the sooner you realize that, the sooner you're able to grow past this and move forward. Because being stuck in this, having this like sort of like victim mentality, or like maybe not even victim, but just kind of like staying in this pain, like, oh fuck, why did this happen? Like, you know why it happened. And the sooner you acknowledge that, hey, maybe you could have done better in this situation, the sooner you'll be able to move forward, the sooner you will feel less blocked, the sooner you will be able to heal, the more attuned you will be with yourself. That's another thing. And this is a message for everyone. I don't know if only SAGs are watching this right now, or if there are other people watching this, but this is definitely a message for everyone, not just SAGs. When you are untruthful with yourself or with people around you, it blocks you from your own truth. It blocks you from your intuition. The less integrity that you have, the less integrity you are able to tap into within the quantum realm. You are disconnected because you're living in this false sense of reality. You're not living in truth, therefore, you will not be able to see truth or know truth. And so the more that you live within your integrity, the more honest you are with yourself and others, the more attuned you are with yourself and your highest good, your inner knowing. So yeah, that might be why you feel very confused, why you feel blocked, why you feel maybe not as intuitive, why you feel empty. You're denying yourself the truth. Stop it. Don't do that. Accept it. Accept what happened. Accept that, there's a reason that all these things are whacked out of balance right now. Accept that, this heartbreak or this situation where, you might have knocked things out of balance. Take accountability for it. The sooner you do, the sooner you'll be able to move on from it. Empathize with the situation. In terms of signs here, I'm getting lots of air signs, lots of water. Could be Aquarius, Libra, and some water signs. Let's see, let's get one more card for Sagittarius. I'm getting a big message from this is that, learn to accept accountability for this. Judgment card, upright. Yeah. The wisdom that you will gain from accepting the truth. Ultimately, this is meant to help you grow. This happened so that you are able to learn to be honest with yourself and others, to take accountability for things, to take accountability for how you might have knocked things out of harmony. And that's okay, we're human. We don't always make the best decisions, but you're literally in another card that also popped out, Nine of Cups, in the challenge position. So yeah, lots of challenges here for Sagittarius during the retrograde season. You've had a challenge with finding your strength and compassion. Maybe you haven't been as optimistic. You've been suffering through this because of the fact that you know you know that you brought this on yourself. I'm sorry, but you're well aware of it. And the more that you deny it to yourself or you don't fully accept it, you're not going to be able to grow past this. But you have to, in order for you to grow and change and accept things, in order for you to become more in tune with yourself and others in order for you to have that community and that harmony and that balance that you're looking for. You have to be able to take accountability for these things. Like, realize that you are human, you make mistakes, but the only way that you're able to accept that is by accepting the mistakes that you have made. You can't just pretend that it didn't happen and move forward, because nothing is going to move forward if you don't accept it. You're not going to learn anything. And the point of this happening was so that you would learn from this, so that you would grow, so that you would gain this wisdom. Yeah, that's the message that I got for Sagittarius. All right, moving on. Wow. Okay, this flipped. So this is either for Sagittarius or for Capricorn, because we're between signs right now. It was the moon reversed, releasing fear, inner confusion, misinterpretation, darkness, insecurities. Could deal with water. It seems like it's almost like a sense of like completion and like learning to be selfless. So in relevance to the Sag reading, yeah, this is like, what are you afraid of if you face the truth? What is it that's blocking you from reaching that, like from taking that accountability? Whatever it is, you need to release that fear that you have. You need to let go of the ego. Honestly, like it's very much an egoic thing that you're going through, of not being able to just accept this. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner you grow from it. Okay, now Capricorn, for real. We've got Justice upright. Let's get another quote for Capricorn. Mercury retrograde message, and or what Capricorn was supposed to learn this retrograde. Let's see. Oh, I know we're supposed to get another card. It feels like it's not pulling. Alright, let's see. Too many cards popped out that time. We're not doing that. We're gonna shuffle again. Let's see the message or lesson that Capricorn was meant to learn from retrograde. We've got the Six of Swords upright and Justice upright. Justice came out first, by the way. Alright, getting lots of air energy here. You might have been dealing with some air energies. We've got, it seems like there might have been something here. You might have gotten clarity on a situation. There might have been something that had happened before that you felt you needed justice for. You needed fairness. You needed things to be balanced out. And this retrograde brought you that. It might have been something that you were waiting on to balance out. And now that it has found its way to light, now that it has kind of like balanced out a little more, you feel like there's lots of clarity, there's truth. You're now able to move on. And so the message I'm getting for Capricorn is that allow yourself to move on with this newfound clarity and truth. Like, just now that this has balanced itself out, just put it behind you. Like, there's no use in carrying this with you. It does not serve you on the journey that you're on. Like, you're able to transition to a better place now that you've gotten the justice for the situation. One more card. Yeah, it seems this might have been someone that you were dealing with that was very manipulative. Maybe a narcissist who was actually very insecure. Yeah, they could have taken advantage of you. It seems like I'm getting someone who definitely was maybe not very good to you. They might have taken advantage of you, might have manipulated you in some way, but things have balanced out for the situation, and that person probably got their karma, or they have something coming to them, or maybe something that they might have taken from you has returned to you. It seems like whatever the situation was with this other person, it might have been either an air sign, definitely an air sign, or maybe they just have heavy air in their chart. But yeah, they got what's coming to them. Either it happened already or it's on its way to them. But the lesson from this is that you need to leave it behind you and trust that the universe has your back. Trust that they're going to, like, justice will be served. And that you need to move forward from this. As for Capricorn, alright, let's see. Now we're channeling English, guys. I forget how to speak English sometimes. Now we're channeling Aquarius, one of my favorite air signs. I love Aquarians. I also get along really well with Libras. I love Libras too. They fuel my fire for sure. Okay, so we're channeling Aquarius, Mercury retrograde, messages for Aquarius. What were we supposed to learn from this, Aquarius? Ooh, where'd it go? Hopped out. Challenge position. The Fool. Huh. Very interesting. It seems like this retrograde, it might have felt like things were just kind of in the air for you. Like you weren't sure if things were coming up or if things were going down. It was just endless possibilities of things that can happen. So there was a situation where, like, maybe you lacked the clarity. You weren't sure if things were going to go well. You weren't sure if things were going to go wrong. You weren't sure if you wanted them to go well or to go wrong. You weren't sure what you wanted the resolution to be. There was kind of like an openness to, like, whatever happens kind of thing. Let's clarify this for Aquarius for the retrograde. Let's see. Yeah, you're ready to fall into whatever happened here. Let's see. One more card for Aquarius. The retrograde. Ooh, that's a lot. We're gonna put those back, actually. But the top card of the stack that came out was the Three of Wands upside down. Okay, so that's that makes sense as to why you felt like things were unlimited. You had very poor planning during this time. You didn't really think things through. And that's probably how you got to this place where you're like, fuck, I don't know what's gonna happen. It is what it is. Let's get another card to clarify for Aquarius for this retrograde message that you're meant to receive. Aquarius retrograde message or lesson that you're meant to learn from this. Think things through more. That's coming in for me for Aquarius. I feel like you can be kind of like aloof or maybe just not really think things all the way through all the time. I don't know if this is for a specific person or for like a collective, a few of you out there, but I'm getting the message that you really have to think about things before you do them or say them. Especially think things through before you say them. Someone out there said some shit that you probably shouldn't have said. And now you're dealing with the consequences of that thing. and you don't know what is going to come of these consequences. And we've got the Lovers upright. It looks like it's got another card to clarify. The Lovers card is definitely a card of like harmony. It does have to do with another air sign with Gemini. The Lovers card is the 6th card. Okay, so this might have had this thing that happened that you're like, you don't really know what's going to happen. It has to do with your home life or your family or a relationship. So you might have done or said something without thinking. God, all these cards went everywhere. Hold on, let me pick these cards real quick. Clarify the Lovers. Oop. Gosh. 10 of Swords upright. Yeah, so it looks like whatever happened, it definitely had to do with like your partnerships or like home life. You might have said or done something that you didn't really think through. And now you don't really know what's going to come of this. You don't know what the consequences are going to be. If, you know, it's going to be a good thing or if it's going to be a bad thing. And, oh, the 10 of Swords is reversed. So I think you're also kind of in a place where you're like, well, it can't get worse than this. Whatever you're experiencing from, you know, not holding your tongue or doing something that you didn't really think through, you might be reaping the consequences of it, but you're like, well, it can't really get worse. You can only get better from here. So there might be a part of you that's resisting the consequences. Like, you don't want to accept that, you know, you might have possibly ended a connection, a relationship with, you know, maybe a lover or a family member or a friend. And, yeah, you might be in a place where you can't really, you're having trouble accepting that it might be over. And, you're like, well, it can't get worse. But, there's also Page of Wands, so, I don't know, this, you're also kind of seeing, like, okay, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe there's, ooh, hold on. The World upright. Okay, you might be traveling somewhere. Something about this situation, I feel like this isn't forever. I feel like something might have ended, but the story isn't necessarily done. Like, yeah, it seems like something happened here with family or lovers where, you know, there might have been a separation, there might have been some sort of something was said here that caused some problems in the home that might have caused issues. But this feeling of like, oh, it can't be over, it's almost because like you know that it's not over. Like at first I was getting like, okay, you might be fucked here because, you know, you might have done something or said something without thinking, and it could have like caused an end, and it did. Like there might be kind of a separation between you and this person or these people, whatever. It could be more than one. And it might have caused like a lot of strain, but I also feel like it's not, like this is temporary. Like there will be a resolution to this. Like things are going to move forward. You're going to recover from this. You're going to come back together, and I'm not sure how or when, but when you do come back together, you're going to be very happy about it, and there's going to be a lot of like travel, like fulfillment. You're going to feel whole again. You're going to be really happy about it. It's going to, like, you just see all of the goodness that comes from this relationship coming back together, you know? It will happen in time. You guys will figure things out. You'll come back together, and it's going to give you a sense of freedom from, like, you know, this kind of like ache and this like resentment of like, fuck, why'd I do that? And you're going to feel a lot better about it. It's going to bring a lot of opportunities for travel, feeling fulfilled, reuniting with this person or these people. The overall message, that's kind of the situation that was happening during retrograde. Like, it feels like there is going to be a resolution. I think maybe the message is patience. Let me get another card for Aquarius before I move on, just so we can make sure. Okay, yeah. We've got Page of Pentacles upside down. Could be dealing with an earth sign or someone with heavy earth in their chart. Yeah, it looks like, the thing that's keeping this resolution from happening is kind of like maybe like greediness or like self-centeredness. Like you're kind of procrastinating on approaching the situation. I think maybe there's like an apology that is owed on the other side of this. Like you probably just need to apologize. You need to face this thing that happened and kind of like you have to be the one to reach out and reconnect. And it feels like you're procrastinating on this. It feels like maybe you don't want to be the one to reach out and try to reconnect, but you're going to have to be the one to do it. You're definitely procrastinating for whatever fucking reason. I don't know why. Like, you know that you're not happy about this situation. Like, I can definitely sense that this was not, you didn't want this ending to happen, you know, and you want things to get better. You want this reconciliation, but you were not really committed to the follow through. You're procrastinating on it. And the lesson that you need to learn is that you need to learn from the fact that, hey, there are some things you should not say or do without really thinking about it. It's very easy to, you know, do things in the moment because you feel that way, but just because you feel that way in the moment doesn't mean that you need to act on that emotion immediately. You don't have to react. It's a good idea to take a step back and wait until you're in a clearer headspace to respond as opposed to react. And yeah, that's just something that you have to learn from the situation, that, like, you know, if you do these things, like, you can lose the people around you. You can lose the people who are close to you. And sometimes you gotta, like, pull your pants up and suck up your pride and apologize and learn from your mistakes. But yeah, the message from retrograde is that stop procrastinating, learn from your shit, and go apologize. Confirmation burp. All right. Let's see. After Aquarius, we've got Pisces. Last one. Pisces. What is the message that we have from Mercury retrograde 444? As I said, that you're protected, Pisces. Whatever you're going through right now, this is that's coming in right now is a channeled message. You might feel unsafe. You might feel like you're going through something. You're worried about something happening. You might feel like you're in danger, or that something that you want or love might be taken away from you. You're protected. Nothing's going to happen to it. Nothing's going to happen to you or this thing that you love. I'm not going to say that your fear isn't valid. I'm sure you have many reasons to like feel this way, but just know that you don't have to, because this thing or you or this person is protected. So don't worry about it. And that was channeled for a Pisces, or maybe a collective out there, maybe someone who has strong Pisces in their chart. All right, Mercury retrograde message for Pisces. What were we meant to learn through this retrograde? We've got 6 of Wands upside down. Yeah, it seems like there might be something that's like, you might have been unconfident about it. There's something where like you feel like you're not getting the recognition that you deserve, or you feel like maybe discredited. Knight of Wands upright. So you might be dealing with a Leo or a Cancer, or a Leo with Cancer placements. Could be an air sign that you're dealing with as well. I'm getting fire and air and some water. Are you dealing with someone who's making you feel unconfident or discredited? It seems like you're dealing with someone who might be a Leo, who they might have a lot of like positive qualities, like they're very energetic and passionate. They seem to be very like adventurous and fearless, but like very impulsive. But it seems like maybe they're causing you to feel unconfident. Like it seems like maybe they're not recognizing like how hard you worked or the things that you do. It feels like yeah, like you're lacking the recognition from this person almost. Is this the person that you were scared you're gonna lose? I don't think you're gonna lose this person. You might want to check your ego. Either this person's making you feel this way, or being around this person makes you feel this way. It might not be something that they're doing to you directly, but it also might be an ego thing. Like it might be, you might be kind of stuck in your ego, which is making you feel unconfident and unrecognized. And, you know, maybe they just have some things going on within themselves, or some things that they're focused on. The Knight of Wands. Wands is very like passionate, very forward movement. Yeah, so it could be that, you know, this person just might not be recognizing some things that you're doing. But also take into account the fact that, you know, maybe they just haven't noticed because they've got their own stuff hanging out, like, going on. And check your ego a little bit. Let's see, let's get another card. You've got the Death card reversed. It seems like there's some sort of change here that you're resisting. Maybe this person that makes you feel this way, it's possible that you guys just don't click. You are protected. I'm getting now that you might feel like you're in danger, or there might be something with this person where you feel like you're not in a good place with them. But no harm will come to you from this. But you're holding on to this person, it seems like, or you're holding on to the situation because you're hoping that they change, or they're able to recognize you and your achievements or the things that you do. But they might not change, and you're resisting the possibility of you guys separating or not being together anymore. It feels like it might be romantic. It doesn't have to be. It could be a friendship, family member, but it definitely feels romantic. So this might be a partner that you're holding on to. It feels like holding on to this person is kind of keeping you from achieving more. Like, it's keeping you from not only being more confident in yourself, but also just moving forward. Like, this person's keeping you stagnant, and honestly is kind of like deteriorating you, because yeah, you feel like you work really hard, and this person doesn't recognize that. They don't recognize Jesus. Words are hard sometimes. They don't recognize the work that you're putting in. They don't recognize the effort that you put in, either to the relationship or just in general. And they're probably not going to. I'm getting some water in here, maybe a Scorpio or Scorpio placements. But yeah, whatever this is, it's not good for you. It's keeping you stagnant. It's keeping you in a place where honestly, maybe this other person's very full of themselves, and it's causing you to be more full of yourself, because it's kind of like a assimilation, where in order for you to not feel like shit being with this person, you have to like be more full of yourself. And it's almost like if you weren't like full of yourself at this time, you would just deteriorate, because you would feel like unworthy, or you would feel just generally like shit. Yeah, I'm getting you're holding on to this person, whatever reason. You need to let go. You need to let go of this person. You need to let go of this situation. This person doesn't necessarily need to be toxic, but it could just be a toxic situation. Like, this person might just not be for you. Give me another card for the lesson. We've got the Page of Wands upside down. So yeah, we've got all signs on the table, or all elements at least. It looks like definitely Scorpio, heavy Leo, Cancer, heavy fire up here. But yeah, there's like definitely like some conflict and lack of direction, procrastination. Stop putting this off. The message that I'm getting for Pisces from the Mercury retrograde is that you need to stop procrastinating this ending. Ultimately, it's just creating more problems. It's causing you to doubt yourself. It's blocking you from your path. And the sooner you let go of this, the sooner that you will be able to move forward, the sooner you will feel better about yourself, honestly. That's the message I got for Pisces. Alright, so. Oh, before I end, for Pisces, Magician was at the bottom of the deck here as I was putting these cards away. So yeah, manifestation, self-confidence. This right here is the outcome of you leaving this person. You will be able to manifest your reality. You'll be able to actually fucking believe in yourself. You'll feel much more confident. You are protected. This future that you see for yourself is protected. God, I have something in my eye. This future that you see for yourself is protected. This manifestation is protected. This is meant to happen for you, but you need to be able to let go of this situation in order for you to manifest the things that you want, for you to regain this confidence and this belief in yourself. You have everything that you need. You do not need this person. I promise you. You probably feel very comfortable with this person. This might have been someone that has been in your life for a while. I'm really getting it's about a specific person. Again, it could be about a group of people, could be family, but I'm feeling, and this might just be for specific Pisces out there, I'm feeling like this is a romantic situation. This might be someone that you've been very attached to for a while, and that might be why you're not willing to let go, but you need to. And this retrograde might have shown you, like, there might have been a lot of things that have come up through this retrograde that has shown you that you're undervalued, that your efforts are not recognized, and it's made you feel kind of shitty, and like you're almost like overcompensating by being very egoic because of the fact that you feel so shitty around this other person. Yeah. Or maybe you're recognizing the ego in this other person. Maybe you're recognizing that they have a huge fucking ego, you know? But all in all, you gotta get rid of them. You're gonna do a lot better if you just get rid of this person. So, yeah, those are the messages that I have for all of you guys today. The messages that you were meant to learn from Mercury retrograde, the lessons that you're meant to take from this retrograde. I hope that this resonated with some of you out there. Again, not everything has to resonate. Just take whatever resonates and leave the rest behind. If nothing resonated, I have a couple other readings on my channel, as well as some channeled messages. There might be something in there for you that you just really need to hear at this time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this. I really do appreciate everyone who is here, and I appreciate your support. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, comment below if this resonated. Feel free to tell me about the situation, how this resonated with you. I would love to hear more about some of my viewers and some of the things that you guys are experiencing. Yeah, thank you guys so much. This is Daddy Jess again. And remember that you are the alchemist of your reality. All right, love you guys.